Hi, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to load graphics in Propresenter. So if you've been in worship literally at all, you've seen that there are words on the screens that we can read and know the lyrics to whatever songs we're singing. So how did those get there? That's what I'm going to show you today. Let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is load songs onto Propresenter. It looks big and scary. I promise you it's not. The service that we're going to be using, or the playlist, is Summer MSM plus HSM. This is the thing that we are going to be loading all of our songs into. You can see it's already set up. It's got walk-in, opening, welcome, worship, message, walkout. So it's got everything you need. Literally all you will need to do is click and drag. I'm assuming that after August 4th you will be on just middle school midweek. I'm assuming. So don't quote me on that, but that is probably going to be the one you use after summer is over. But for now, we're using this one. So how am I going to do it? I'm going to go into default, and default holds literally everything. It's got scripture, it's got songs, and it's way too much to scroll through. So instead, I'm just going to filter, which is all the way down here. Now I'm going to be using the songs from a July 28th plan. That is World Outside Your Window, The Passion, What a Beautiful Name, and No Longer Slaves. So I'm going to type in World Outside Your Window. There it is. It's all the way up here. It's very spread out. So I'm going to click this, and I'm going to drag it into Summer MSM plus HSM. And you can see when I click on that, it shows up right here. Now I'm going to go back to default. I'm going to filter again. I'm going to type in The Passion. And I click this, drag it to Summer MSM plus HSM, which I'm not sure if that went, so I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, then I'm going to go to default again. Sometimes you have to do that, I don't know why. I am going to type in What a Beautiful Name, click this, and drag it into Summer MSM plus HSM. Check to make sure it's there. Okay, it is. Go into default, type in No Longer Slaves. Click this, drag it into that. Okay, now you can see, I did that one twice, gonna click it and delete it, which is how you can literally get rid of all of these. Now you can see that all of these have kind of congregated in the walkout, which would not be how they were scheduled in the actual service. So I am going to reflow this a little bit so that it makes more sense the way the service will actually be. First, I'm going to click World Outside Your Window, and I'm going to drag it to the opening. Now, I do this because what I like to do is have one song, then games, and then 3 other songs after that in the more worshipy section. And the first song is more, obviously it still is worship, but it's more hype, and it kind of gets people ready to play games and listen to announcements. You can do whatever you want. You can have all 4 songs in the worship section if you want to. I really don't care. But so that's where I like to put that one. But then I'm going to drag the remaining 3, The Passion, What a Beautiful Name, and No Longer Slaves, into the worship section. So now all those are set up. But they are still kind of in their default arrangement, if you will. You can see on World Outside Your Window, it's got the verse, it's got the chorus, it's got the verse again, but then since it already said the verse once here, it does not put it in again here. Now, this would be fine if every single graphics person knew exactly the arrangement of the songs, how many verses, how many choruses, the order, all that stuff. But a lot of them don't, or we might have made music edits to the song that they're not quite aware of. And so we need to make sure that we can make this as easy on them as possible, and also as easy on the people on stage as possible who rely on the lyrics on the confidence monitor to kind of know what to sing next. So in order to make this as easy as possible, we are going to change up the arrangement a little bit. It is super easy. I'm going to go here to this button. It's got a bunch of squares. I'm going to click it, and this is the arrangements button. Now you can see I have a drop-down menu. We're on the master arrangement, which again is kind of the one that's a little more sparse, doesn't have everything in order the way we need. And I'm going to click the drop-down, and you can see that there's an arrangement called 2020. Now any arrangement that is given a date anywhere from like 2017 to 2020 is relevant, I would think. It means that either Sutton, Mitchell, or myself have probably set this up, and it's good to go. It's the arrangement you need. so you can use it. So as you can see, now we have a chorus, we have a verse, and then we have a chorus again. We have the bridge repeated as many times as we need it, and then we have the chorus again one last time. So now this is an arrangement that'll make more sense for the graphics person and for the instrumentalists and vocalists on stage. So this is perfect. I'm going to hit the arrangements button, and now this drop down menu goes away, and it says that we're playing A World Outside Your Window 2020, and that's what we want. So I'm going to go down, scroll down to the Passion. Again, it looks sparse right now, so I'm going to hit the arrangement button. I'm going to go to Master, and I'm going to hit 2019, which again is kind of in our window of relevancy. We know that it's going to be correct, and now you can see this is a lot more fleshed out. I'm going to hit the arrangement button again. Go down to the next song, What a Beautiful Name. Hit the arrangement button. Hit the drop down and go to 2020. Hit the arrangement button once more. I'm going to go down to Know All Your Slaves. Hit the arrangement button. Go to 2018. Again, that's in our relevant window. And now everything is in an order that makes a little bit more sense. Now for all of these, the arrangements that were correct have been pre-made for you. Sometimes this is not the case. So I'm going to show you how to create your own arrangement. It is super, super easy. Don't even worry about it. So first I'm just going to put in a whole new song. Let's say that I'm going to put in As You Find Me, which I have an unhealthy obsession with. Please listen to it because it is great. Anyway, so now didn't go in there. Let me try that one more time. I think it might have gone in the children's ministry one. There. I think. This is being very touchy today. Okay, cool. So it's in the walkout. It's not in the right place, but we're just going to keep it there because I'll delete it anyway. So, As You Find Me is a song with a lot of different components that you can take a lot of different ways. It can be very repetitive near the end, and it goes on for a very long time unless you mix up the arrangement a little bit, which is partially on the person who has the iPad to be like, okay, this is going on for too long, we're going to cut it. But it's also on the person who is programming the graphics to make the graphics reflect what the person who has programmed the iPad has chosen as the arrangement for the song. Which brings me to a kind of side point. When you are making a new arrangement, always consult the iPad. Go on the iPad and look at the different sections of the song. You can watch that video because it's okay. And so, because the iPad shows all the sections of the song, it will show like a verse, chorus, pre-chorus, da-da-da-da. So you can look at the iPad to kind of make sure that the edits you're doing on Propresenter reflect what the musicians are actually going to be hearing and playing. So for As You Find Me, I'm going to hit the arrangement button. Now, I already have made an arrangement for this. It's 2021. But let's say that I don't want this arrangement. I want a new arrangement. You should look at that. There's a button just for that means. A new arrangement, I'm going to call it 2021 Test. Cool. I'm going to hit OK. And now I've made a new arrangement. So you can see that the string of components right here, this reflects what we're actually seeing down here. The more grayed out muted one up here, this is our toolbox. So we can use any of these tools to build on to what is already here. Here's a great example. So the song goes on in a pretty normal progression. It has the verse, it has the pre-chorus, it has the chorus, it has the next verse, it has the next pre-chorus, but then we don't have a chorus because normally the master edits of these songs only have each section of the song appear once, which is fine for some people, but we just want to make it as easy for our graphics person as possible. So instead of going from the pre-chorus and having the graphics person click all the way back up here for the next chorus, I'm going to add another chorus after pre-chorus 2. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to go to my toolbox, I'm going to click chorus, I'm going to drag it down in between these two. And now you can see it's appeared in pink down here. And now we go from the chorus to the tag. Now this tag, that it goes like, you love me as you find, your love's too good to leave me here. Beautiful singing, I know. So this tag repeats not just once, but multiple times. So if I want to, I'm going to pretend it repeats 4 times. I'm not sure how many times it actually does, but that's when you would consult the iPad. Wink, wink. I'm just not going to do that right now. So I would click tag, go up to my toolbox, and drag 1, 2, 3, and now, bam, we have 4 tags. This repeats 4 times. Then we go into the bridge. Let's say, because I believe it does, that the bridge repeats multiple times. I would go to bridge from my toolbox and I would drag, let's say maybe just repeats 1 more time. Okay, then you can see we have a vamp, which is honestly just serves for a blank slide in this, which is fine. You always want some blank slides if there's going to be long instrumental sections. But then there's a lot more bridges. And let's say that the person who's doing music edits has put in the iPad that, no, I do not want all these bridges. After the end of this bridge, we're going to do a musical swell on the vamp section, and then we're going to go out. Then what you would do here, literally, is use this vamp as kind of the swell out. So everybody go like, and then whoever prays. I should be in an a cappella group, I think, really. Now, it's as easy as this. After the vamp is over and the band has stopped singing, I'm just going to X out, X out, X out. All those bridges go bye-bye. There we go. Now, that's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. It takes some time, of course, to figure out, but it just comes with experience. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Now, there's one other thing, kind of stylistic. If you're into aesthetics like me, you want all of our lyrics to match. You don't want our font to be all over the place. That is a pet peeve of mine. So, what do we do when we want our font to be different? Well, Mitchell has so nicely made a Worship Lyrics 2020 font style for us that can make everything match. So all these fonts match because they've all been changed to Worship Lyrics 2020 for the most part. But let's say that one of the fonts is different. I would go to whatever section I want to edit, and I would click the gray area. In, like, you literally can't even see, like, nothing lights up or anything. But I would just click the gray area in between all these little cards just to select this entire area and tell the computer, basically, this is the part that I want to edit. Now I'm going to go up to this top left corner. I'm going to hit Theme. I'm going to go to 2021, and I'm going to hit Worship Lyrics 2020. Now, these are already in the style of Worship Lyrics 2020, so it's not literally going to do anything at all. But if they were in some sort of different font, then they would change after this rainbow spinny stops spinning. So that's that. Another thing that's a little stylistic that I might show you that I noticed up here. So as you can see, some of these cards, as I've been calling them, have a line of words and then just one singular word. Now, this is for people who are just really perfectionistic and stupid like me. So this kind of annoys me how, and it's here too, my fears were drowned in perfect love. Like, I don't know, I just don't like it. And there are some people who really don't like it. And so anyway, in order to fix this, we're going to go to Edit. Oh, haha, I forgot to select No Longer Slaves by clicking the grayed out area, which I literally just told you to do. So it brought me back to As You Find Me. Now I'm going to go to Edit, which is again in the top left corner. I'm going to find where these little annoying little words are, and I'm just going to, wherever a natural break in the word is, I'm just going to hit Return and make a new line. So I'm going to do this here. So like, your blood flows through my veins. I feel like this is kind of a natural break. My fears were drowned in, maybe even just perfect love. No. Let's do actually before in. There we go. Rescue me so I can stand and sing. Maybe. It doesn't have to be perfect, I say. Okay, there we go. Now that's all sort of fixed. So I'm going to go back to Show. And it is now fixed. Huzzah. Okay, there's one other thing that you probably need to know. So, obviously, when people are giving a message, because we also have message graphics here, they're probably going to want scripture on the screens. Hopefully they're preaching scripture. That's kind of important. So I'm going to teach you how to load scripture onto the message portion of the night. I'm going to go up to this lovely top left corner again. I'm going to click Bible. Huzzah. And then I'm going to look up some scripture up here. Let's see. I really like Psalm 116:7. That's a really fun verse. All of Psalm 116 is just cool, so you should read it. So here we go. Literally, I just type that in. I hit enter. It comes up right here. And you can do CSB. You can do ESV, which I don't like as much. You can do NIV. You can do NLT. I like CSB the best. That's just my personal preference. So how do we get this over to the show? I'm going to right click, I'm going to hit copy. Then I'm going to go back to show. And under message, now this is kind of weird. You have to command V instead of paste. And then it just shows up right there. If I wanted to edit this, like let's say I wanted to put the version on here so that people know what version I'm reading out of. I go to edit. And how it says text right here, I'm going to type in CSB. Also, important to note, in my last tutorial that failed miserably, I did Ecclesiastes 3:14, which is my life verse and also another verse that you should read because it's fabulous. So anyway, Ecclesiastes is a long word, and now that I'm looking back on it, I could have just shortened it to ECCL, but I didn't do that. Instead, I lowered the font size over here because because the word was so long, you only get this much text. So let's say Psalms had a million S's at the end. So you can see it kicks the scripture reference down here, but because it doesn't fit in this little blue box, when I click off of it, it just says Psalms. So if it's too big, it will do that unless you lower the font size a little bit, but that's not the case here. All right, cool. Now I go back to show, and everything's fine and dandy. Alrighty, so I think that is everything you need to know pretty much. Again, this looks like a big fancy programming apparatus, at least it did to me the first time I saw it. It's really not. It is again, it's one of those things that come with practice. All these things are going to come with practice that you're learning how to do. It's okay if you don't know how to do it right away. That's what this tutorial video is for. But anyway, so I hope that you have just a fabulous time programming in Propresenter. Have fun and good luck. I'll see you.